Hi, Andrew here. So a while back, CMMG introduced their .45 caliber GUARD carbine, which uses a pretty unique operating system. Most pistol caliber AR-15s use a blowback action. That is, the bolt is fairly massive, and that, combined with a fairly strong spring, prevents the action, the breech, from opening until the bullet has exited the barrel and pressures drop to a safe level. The GUARD uses a delayed blowback action, which is almost sort of the opposite of the gas direct impingement seen on the traditional AR. The rear face of each bolt lug has an angled cut on it, and that angled cut corresponds to an angled cut on the lugs of the receiver extension. Under recoil, they press against each other, they slide, and that forces the bolt to rotate. As the bolt rotates, the cam rotates in its slot. As it rotates in its slot, it forces the bolt carrier backwards. The bolt carrier moves backwards a short distance, stops. Well, it doesn't stop. It reaches the limit of its travel and carries the bolt back to the rear with it, extracting the spent case. Inertia carries it to the rear, spring pressure carries it forward, chambers a new round. So this type of action, being lighter and having less reciprocating mass, also has less recoil impulse, as well as being obviously a lighter rifle. Altogether, a pretty interesting system, and CMMG just introduced their 9mm version, which gives lots of people the happy dance because that means 33-round Glock magazines. Now, I haven't had this long enough to do a proper review on it, but we wanted to put together a video to correspond with the announcement of the product. So I did get out to the range and shoot it a little bit, but this isn't going to be so much of a review as an introduction. So here's a little bit of yours truly shooting it. It's a lot of fun to shoot. It's almost like shooting a .22 long rifle AR. Just kind of jiggles around in the hand a little bit with virtually no recoil. Anytime I take a look at a product, I always try to come up with a few positive and a few negative things, and that helps me overcome any subconscious bias I might have. So let's make with the negative points that I found. They are somewhat minor. There is a bit of a cosmetic issue on the rail on the upper receiver towards the middle. There is a hole at the front of the receiver where the gas tube would go in. It's a standard AR-15 upper receiver, so of course the hole is still there. And I'd kind of like to have seen them drill and tap that hole and plug it. I know it's pretty nitpicky, but that is a place that dust or mud or whatever could ingress. Then again, that would add cost to the rifle, and it's probably not that important. It's up to you whether it really matters. Another thing that's up to the user, whether it really matters or not, is the fact that the castle nut is not staked. I'm sure that's not something they overlooked. They staked the gas key really well. Well, it's not really a gas key so much anymore, but they staked that part really well. So it's almost certainly an intentional decision because you may want to change the buffer tube someday. And they left it up to you whether or not to stake it. It's pretty easy to do at home. Definitely wouldn't hold it against them. Another really minor thing is that because of the type of action, it has a spring on the inside of the bolt carrier, which pushes the bolt forward and the firing pin to the rear, prevents slam fires. It's important to that type of action. But because of that spring, when you close the upper receiver, you have to push forward slightly on the bolt carrier to get it to close. Again, it's really nitpicky, but I had to come up with a few negative points. All right, so on to the positive features. So it comes with a long, skinny key mod rail, which maybe some of you don't find to be the most positive feature, but honestly, I don't really care whether you're part of the key mod or M-Lock cult. I think they're both fine systems that work just great. It's up to you whether you find that to be a positive point. I liked it. It felt good in the hand, kept the rifle nice, light, and skinny. It also has a CTE stock and an MOE pistol grip. Has a nice, big, huge magazine button. The magazine release is a little unique in that because it takes Glock mags, instead of going straight through the receiver to release on the opposite side like for an AR mag, it has to go to the front along the side of the receiver, and it sort of levers out. It's easy enough to use. The magazine's drop free, works great. It has a 2-stage trigger, T-marked upper, and the sniper gray Cerakote finish that's seen on this one is rather handsome, if I do say so myself, but it is not standard. You have to pay extra for that. Overall, it's a fun rifle to shoot, and I really enjoyed shooting it in the brief period of time that I've had with it so far. Hopefully, I'll have the opportunity to do some gel testing with it. People are asking for 9mm carbine gel tests all the time. I'd also like to do some accuracy, durability, and reliability testing and give you a much more comprehensive view of the rifle over a period of time. We'll see how that turns out. If you disagree, if you have any questions or thoughts or comments, definitely leave a post below. As always, like, share, and subscribe. That really helps us out, and we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.